Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my weekly review.
Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here, meeting my icon, Catherine Isabel here.
Across the streams of hopes and dreams where things are really not. Come along if you can. Come along if you dare.
Have a good one. Cheers, guys.
Side of your mind, but please realize you'll probably be surprised.
Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you a video talking about my top 10 favorite characters of Riverdale on the CW. Now, Riverdale Season 2 concluded a little while ago. You know, it's on Netflix, so check it out if you missed some of it or just want to watch it again. And I figured since Riverdale sort of became one of my most prominent or reoccurring topics on my channel, you know, I reviewed every single episode of Season 2 once I had, watched Season 1 on Netflix, and I definitely plan on reviewing Season 3 when that hits this fall, or when that begins this fall, I should say. So yeah, I thought since it's become such a regular part of my channel, I should do videos like this. You know, eventually I'll do like a top 5 episodes or something, probably after the, third season, just to, kind of get more. And then once it has, a couple more seasons, I'm sure I'll probably rank the seasons too. So, that's what I do for a lot of the regular shows on my channel, is just do different rankings of certain parts of it. And here we're going to talk about my top 5 favorite characters. I'm sure there are a couple that, there's going to be one big character that you'd think is on my list, but they're just not, personally, which I'll explain in a minute. But let me know who your favorites are, maybe even do a top 10, or, just tell me, like, who your favorite character is, or why. No need to get into, like, arguments over this either, we like who we like. But yeah, so, before we get into the actual list, I just want to name off a couple that some would expect to be on my list, but they're not. I'm just going to briefly explain why I don't like them as much as others, I guess. First one like that's going to be Betty, played by Lily Reinhart. Now I have no problems with Lily Reinhart. I think she seems to be a really nice person. But for me, I think she's a fine actress as well. But for me, Betty as a character, I don't know. I've just sort of found uneven over the couple seasons so far. I just personally, she kind of comes across hypocritical, and there's a whole like dark Betty, cam girl Betty thing that I thought was just kind of awkward. The whole stripper thing was just weird. So I've always found it odd that people complain about Veronica, but then they ignore things with Betty like that. But she definitely has her place on the show. I don't deny that. She has her moments. I'm just hoping for more consistency of those moments in season 3 and going forward. Then I guess there's a character like Reggie or something. He just hasn't gotten really a lot yet. He's kind of back and forth in terms of liking him or not. So, and another one I actually did want to mention in a more honorable way, though, is Fred Andrews, of course, Archie's dad, played by Luke Perry. He definitely has a spot on the show. Almost makes my top 5 actually, but he's probably like 6 or 7. And I think I think Luke Perry does a really nice job with him. I think he's one of the most well-acted characters on the show in terms of performance by Luke Perry, along with Skeet Ulrich, who we'll get to in a couple minutes here. A little spoiler. But yeah, as far as him being shot and everything like that, and all the emotion of that, I think he definitely has like a cornerstone of the show. He's a cornerstone of the show, really. Like sort of moral compass, I suppose. But yeah, so now why don't we actually get into the top 5? And there's also like characters like Alice and stuff like that who are close in a similar way, I suppose. Well, let me actually get into the top 5 here. My 5th favorite character on Riverdale has got to be Archie Andrews himself, played by KJ Apa. I almost want to make him number 4. I always debate between him and number 4. But I put him at 5 because I don't really have a whole lot against him as a character. I just think they're just, 4 other characters I like quite a bit more. But of course Archie, he's the main protagonist of the show. Although he's more so witness to everything happening around him, although he's getting more and more involved. Sometimes the writing with him can be a little frustrating in terms of his either his motivation or just how quick something gets to him or something like that. I feel like it can be a bit mixed. There's the whole teacher, Miss Grundy thing at the beginning of the show. But really, I think he's a really likable character, and a big part about his KJ Apa's performance. I think he does a pretty good job. He has moments where he's trying, like at the end of season 1, where he's trying to get to Cheryl on the ice and everything, where he's hitting his fists against it. Apparently, KJ was actually really doing that. And certain more emotional scenes with like Veronica and Fred and stuff like that. He's a pretty decent actor, I'd say. And I think it's getting a little bit easier to root for him again. He feels like more like a real character than I think he did in the first season, at least the beginning of the first season. So I think he's improving. But yeah, number 5 is Archie. So yeah, number 4 is going to be Jughead Jones, played by Cole Sprouse. And now I said I was debating between him and Archie just a minute ago, but I'm also debating between him and who my number 3 is. So it's going to be an ongoing debate in my head, but right now number 4 is Jughead. I view him as almost more important to the story than Archie, or more important to how the narrative works, because he actually, I feel like he's more actively trying to see things in a more logical way, although they kind of put him more off the rails in season 2 along with some others. A lot of people seem to not like season 2. I still enjoyed it. I feel like it might have been a tad overly long, 22 episodes. It's a lot for any show. And then all the breaks, I think it really kind of bogged down the pacing of it, which isn't their fault. It's the network scheduling and everything. But anyway, Jughead, I just think he's a even easier character to root for, honestly. I think he's a more realistic type of character. He has that past of FP being more of a deadbeat dad for a while. Him being a lot more rough than some of the other characters, I guess, in terms of his upbringing. And I like his wit, his sarcasm, his movie references. Which some people say is a bit much sometimes, but I enjoy it. Although it's a bit on the nose when he says, "Oh, this is like that," or "This is like that in that movie," But it is what it is. I do like his relationship with Betty as well. I think I prefer that over Betty being with Archie, but I'm not one of those who really ships it hardcore either way. Although I do prefer Veronica with Archie over Betty and Archie. But anyway. But yeah, some of the best dynamic on the show, honestly, is Jughead and FP, I think, and their story together, and how that's developed and improved over the couple seasons it's had so far. It's honestly one of my very favorite parts of it, and I think the most well developed and fleshed out. So yeah, my number 4 is Jughead Jones, and now my number 3 is going to be Cheryl Blossom, played by Madelaine Petsch. I actually had the pleasure to meet Madelaine for a little bit at Heroes and Villains Fan Fest this past year in Chicago. And I'm kicking myself because her line was like capped off the whole day. So I ended up not actually getting her autograph, which really bugs me. But I did briefly talk to her when I got a photo op with her, which I'll be putting up on the screen right now. But even just having like a quick 10-20 second back and forth with her, I could tell she's very sweet, very kind person. She seems shy, of course, but it's a big thing. And check out her YouTube channel as well. She posts videos regularly, almost every week. So I think this kind of contributes to how I view Cheryl as well, because Madelaine seems so cool. But Cheryl, I think, along with like the Jughead and FP dynamic I just talked about, I think Cheryl is actually the most well fleshed out character on the show. You know, just her story with her parents, her sort of coming out of her shell a little bit, sort of having that defense, you know, stuck up kind of mechanism that she had for a while there. But you can just see how damaged, how much baggage she has with her with Jason, but also how her parents have treated her. And then eventually how she lets herself sort of care and sort of let people care about her. You know, from Tony to, you know, Betty and Veronica, you know, things like that. I think she's really come around in a really great way, and I really do like her relationship with Tony as well. You know, she's a pretty talented actress too. You know, sometimes I feel like she can be a little bit over the top with her expressions when she gets scared, sort of. But I just think she's a character you can really easily care about and invest in, and I don't think Riverdale would have become as popular as it is without Cheryl on the show. So I can see why she's a fan favorite, and she's my top 3 at DC now. So yeah, my number 3 is Cheryl Blossom. And now my number 2, I've mentioned him periodically throughout this video, and that is F.P. Jones, played by Skeet Ulrich. Now I've seen this guy in a lot of stuff, you know, from Scream. You should also check out a drama of his he did a good few years ago now called Jericho. It's on Netflix as well. It's a pretty good show. But he's a very good actor. I think he and Luke Perry are probably the best in terms of just acting on the show, I guess, for now anyway. And like I said, his dynamic with his, you know, son Jughead is just so well fleshed out and really well developed. I think they have some of the very best scenes on the show. The whole father and son thing, like how it's developed from him going to deadbeat dad to actually sort of redeeming himself and becoming this figure that Jughead can sort of look up to again. I think it's been a really great story between them. And now you can actually fully trust FP, and I almost look to him more now than I do to Fred, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, you know, King of the Serpents and everything like that, but just how much he cares about Jughead and everything above all, and how proud he is of his son. I think it's really great. Yeah, FP, my number 2, my second favorite character on the show. So yeah, and now my number 1, my very favorite character on all of Riverdale. Who else could it be but Veronica Lodge, played by Camila Mendez. And now I know some people really don't like Veronica, whether it's because of shipping wars or just somehow being more frustrated with her character than Betty. Me personally, V is my number 1, Ronnie is my number 1. You know, I see her struggle with her parents, her trying to rise above herself. You know, she was a more rude, sort of mean girl, right, type of person before she got to Riverdale, and this is her trying to change herself. And I think she has, you know, relating herself more to, you know, the rest of the gang. I mean, she had some really hard struggles in season 2. You know, about trying to push herself away from her dad. You know, still trying to accept him and trying to find the love she has for him. But she really seen him for what she is, and you know, she pretty much threw away, you know, her, you know, your credit card, her trust fund, stuff like that. You know, she really doesn't care about that stuff anymore, and she's cutting her ties with that as much as she can. But also, in a pretty inspiring way, I think, trying to build herself up with her own name, which is great. And you know, we're actually really caring about Archie, and you know, trying to help him with what happened to Fred, and just everything like that throughout the season. I think it's been really good. I think people kind of overlook a lot of the good Ronnie has done. And also, my very favorite scene of the whole series is when she just decked and laid out Reggie just in the middle of the hallway, just one punch, pretty much a KO. That looked awesome. I'm always rooting for Ronnie. I really loved her introduction to the series as well, her whole kiss with Betty and the cheerleader thing to get her into it when Cheryl was still in her you know, bitch mode. Yeah, just Ronnie, she's the main standout sort of face of the show for me, at least. So yeah, number 1 is Veronica Lodge, and you also gotta like her cabin, you know, Lodge. And Camila Mendez, she seems very nice as well. I like when she appears in Natalie and Patch's videos on YouTube. You know, her and Lily Reinhardt seem to be good friends as well. And I'm really hoping I get to meet her sometime. It'd be incredible. I'd wait all day in line for her. Although again, I probably should have for Madeline as well. I'm kicking myself for that. But yeah, anyway, let me know who your favorite characters are again. And yeah, so follow me on Facebook, Twitter, like, subscribe, as well as follow me on Instagram, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.